This is my review on Isom #1 from the Rippaverse, the brand new comic company, basically created by Eric July. I got my copy. I got an A and B copy coming in too. A few days now. Actually, I think tomorrow my A and B will be coming in. But my cover sheet came in. I was able to read the book, and I don't read comic books. I've never even read a comic book before. I don't think totally, like in total, I don't think I've read a comic before, so I can't compare it to other comics, maybe like some other people can, but I can certainly give my opinions on the story still. And I mean, I gotta say, it's a good setup for the story. Isom #1, it's like ill-advised in part 1, so we're gonna get Isom 2 probably as the next book. It's a good story. It's a really good story. I mean, I really like the setup that we got for this book, and I mean, Isom is obviously the main character, and we get to follow his origin, kind of. It kind of seems like they're building up a story. By the way, there's spoilers in this video, but we're building up like a story where he's already had a past, and there's already been a past of his superhero life. And instead, now we're following him like he's given it up already. He's already moved on from the superhero life, and he's in this world where there are just kind of like people with superhero powers everywhere. They call them accepts, I believe. And there's superheroes basically everywhere. Like you get like around the street, you got someone with powers. You turn the corner, there's another person with powers. That's my assumption kind of at this point. I do really like the story for Isom. I think these guys right here on the cover too, Alpha Core, I kind of thought they would be like the big major villains that we'd see starting this book, but really it wasn't. Villain in this story, at least, the bad guy in this story is his old friend, I believe, Darren. I think that's his name. I just read through it once. He's kind of like the bad guy. He's kind of running this empire, and he's now after Isom, because Isom could not hold back after trying to figure out something that happened to a friend. After Darren ended up getting confrontational about it, didn't want to answer it, he attacked Isom, and that's kind of where we're at now. Isom's now kind of out to get his friend, or not his friend, but the guy he knew, Darren. And he's out to get him now because he kind of seems like he's got some impulsiveness to him. There's some impulsiveness to Isom, and it doesn't really seem like he's like your superhero type, at least as of yet. But we're gonna get there, I assume. It's just a build-up character book, really. Like this story, there's some good action in it. Definitely, there's some good action in it. But I think it's really a good build-up, a character build-up book here. And I really have a lot of faith that Eric July and the Rippaverse is going to go forward and tell a much grander story, especially with the ending in this book. I think the ending, the whole last bit with, I gotta look it up here, I don't remember the name of the group. Norfolka? Something like that. It's like this rock band or whatever at the end of the book, and they were, giving their performance and everything, and they obviously have powers. You can tell they have powers. I think maybe during the performance, but at the end of the book you could tell they have powers, and they're just, it doesn't seem like they're from Earth. I don't know, they were kind of talking about Earth like it was something that they weren't normally from, or it's not like their home necessarily, but there was like this group of rock band people who were concerned and worrying about this bigger threat that's coming, and they think it's coming to Earth, I believe. And that's kind of the thing that set up to me like, really, this is going to get a lot bigger and a lot more grand than we thought. Now, another character a lot of people have been really looking forward to in this story is Yara. And Yara actually doesn't really have that big of a story in this book necessarily. I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of her at the end of the book. They told us we will see more of Yara, so I mean, that's very exciting. I think she has a lot of potential for story and a character. I think they didn't really tell us much yet, but she was kind of fighting the Alpha Core, and she was just kind of almost kind of like a vigilante, kind of not follow the rules type of person, but not necessarily a superhero. That's my assumption right now, but I could be very wrong. She obviously does have like a whole like superhero look in the actual suit that she has. She didn't have it in this book, but she does have it in like the end picture that says she's going to return. There's a lot of promotional images with her in her suit and her outfit, so I'm sure we'll see a lot more of her, and probably just like, it's going to be mostly Isom. I think the next book's mostly going to focus on Isom. I don't know if we'll see Yara again then either, but I'm sure we will see her again in a grand way eventually. But Isom #1, it's a good book, guys. despite what a lot of people want to say, you don't open this book up, all of a sudden you see fuck Joe Biden. No, you open this book and you see a good story. And I think that's amazing. I think it really, really is. Despite what a lot of people want to say, it's like, oh, it's some anti-woke comic book by Eric July. No, it's not an anti-woke book. It's a non-woke book. He's said that many times already. I shouldn't have to say it. People who are reading the book, who shouldn't have to reiterate it. He's already said this a trillion times. It's not a anti-woke book. It is a non-woke book. It's not going to shove woke stuff in your face, and it didn't. It definitely did not. You don't open the first page and it says, fuck Joe Biden. It just doesn't. It doesn't say that. You open the book, and you're entered into the world of Isom, and I think that's really, really amazing. So I'm looking forward to Isom 2. It definitely hooked me to get book number 2. I'm very excited to see where the Rippaverse goes for Eric July and his stories here, and what other books he's got going. I know he's got I think Isom 2 is in the works right now. He's full in development of that right now, and very excited to see where it goes. But yeah, good first book. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm excited to get all my covers, because I also got the concept book. I got the cards coming too, and I'm glad I did, because I do enjoy the story, and I'm glad to start collecting some of this stuff, because it's some really high quality stuff. You got a really high quality book here. I mean, he's made it very, very clear. Very high quality book. It's very good stuff. Again, I'm not a comic book reader. I've never read a comic book, but I did enjoy the story. If you're looking to get into comics, it's a good time, because this is the first book of the whole story. Like, this is the beginning. This is it. So you don't have to jump into Marvel, where there's like a trillion books everywhere, or DC, where there's a bunch of books everywhere. I don't even know where I would start with that stuff. This is it. This is number 1 right here. Check it out. This is the first book. You can still get cover C. This one right here, A and B, I think are gone now, but this one is still available. I'm sure it'll be available for a long time. You can still get it on his store, I believe. But good story. I really enjoy it. I'm looking forward to book 2.